Welcome. I'm Karen Marsdale, and I'm on staff at the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance. So welcome to another edition of Chamber Spotlight. And a little bit different with my next guest, because Jobany Bedoya is actually on staff at the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance. So welcome, Jobany.
Thank you very much.
So, this is somebody I see every day and interact with, but we're going to talk a little bit about what Jobany does for the Chamber, but basically does really for those in the community, the business community, through the Alliance. So Jobany is the Small Business Coordinator, which is a big, you could say a lot goes into that particular position.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. And you've been here a year and...
it's about to hit a year.
About to hit a year.
In 3 weeks.
And you just kind of come into this world of Chamber and you it's hard to describe, right?
Yeah.
All the things.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Right, exactly. Nobody quite realizes how hard we work unless you're really here sitting in
definitely a lot of stuff
the
behind the scenes,
Yeah. We're lots of balls in the air. So that being said, you're coming up to your anniversary. We have a lot to talk about. But what would you say you probably learned, what's been the greatest thing you learned about the work of the organization in the middle of coming into a very big transition of a merger of Chamber and Economic Development?
Yeah, so obviously when I started, it was right in the beginning of the merger, so that was a transition within itself. But the biggest thing I would say that I've learned from this process is that we have a big need out there for small businesses. Our small businesses are entrepreneurs. We have a lot of them, and we need to, we're focusing on that. And the great thing is that we're doing a lot of the right things, especially when I talk to colleagues from across the country. I've done some national training stuff, and everyone is very intrigued by what we're doing as an organization here for Berks County and how we're helping support small businesses and focusing on Latino businesses as well. Because as we know, they are the largest growing population of entrepreneurs, especially in this area.
Right.
Greater Berks is just full of entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So there's a lot of great stuff going on, and we're doing a lot of great things.
Well, it's interesting because the woman who was just here before that I was interviewing, and I asked her what value had we brought to her business, and she said, a lot of the workshops she's been to, SBDC, who's one of our partners.
Yep.
She said, I love what I do, and she plans events. She has a farm that lots of uses a lot of different types of services for events. But she said, but then I said, yes, you're right. Then you've got to figure out how do you run the business side of what you're doing. You might love, as Sandy Solomon, I always think, a great sweet street, made a great chocolate chip cookie. When she went into business in the early days, she was still a manufacturer. She had to learn how to decide, what her costs were, what her expenses, what pricing, all those things, and you see it every day. I just spoke to somebody last evening who you had in for what we call coffee and conversations, or coffee and convos.
Coffee and convos.
And just a subject matter expert, and this person was in the HR realm, subject matter expert. I'm probably talking about, great gal. And she said, it's scary when you see how much people don't know what they don't know in a lot of areas, like human resources.
It's huge, and I'm glad you touch on Coffee and Convos, because it is a free training that we offer to anyone. Free training, no cost to you. We invite you to come out. It's once a month, every fourth Wednesday of the month. 7:45 in the morning at Baker Tilly over in Wyomissing. And it's a 1-hour session, and it's a high-level overview that focuses on any type of small business struggle or challenge. And as you said, HR is huge. I mean, you are a 1 to 10 person operation. You may not have an employee handbook. You may not have the most current laws, any of that workforce type stuff. So this is a great way to provide some technical assistance in many fields. So we have HR, we've covered marketing, even social media management, how to be relevant. I mean, there's so many things that we've been covering, even customer service 101. That was one of our most successful ones. We had a packed room. Something as simple as that.
Exactly.
So these business owners aren't focusing on the training because they're trying to grind and they're trying to hustle and they're trying to make ends meet and be able to pay their employees. So sometimes they just don't have the time to focus on training
we often say you can't afford not to make the time.
Exactly. It's a huge risk that people take,
Sure.
and that's a huge piece out here that we're now able to provide some more specific technical assistance.
Right.
And even the one that's next week, next Wednesday, it's IT security. So places like us, we have an IT company that helps us and kind of helps guides us and gives us an update, or if there's a phishing or email scam. Well, the small business owner doesn't
know that. Boy,
with
you
their
could
little
be like,
old and they may have just like a little old Gmail account. Well, that doesn't protect you from everything.
Right.
That's
exactly.
the biggest target: Gmail, Hotmail, those things. And so it's a IT security, how to manage certain aspects of that. So any of the technical things. So we do all kinds of stuff, and that's just one tiny little piece of what we do.
That's one little tiny piece of what we do. And as you said earlier, Jobany, that really we're also very focused in on our Latino community because they're not only are they a growing population, but they're also an entrepreneurial population, and we can see that just those of us who are running around the city or you're running around the county, and you're seeing more and more and more growth. And likewise, they need to be doing their businesses in a, shall we say, a fashion that is not only legal for them, but where they're also not being taken advantage of.
Yep. And it's part of education, and that's why GRCA had the vision of bringing me on.
Right.
And that's to help educate our community, our business owners and entrepreneurs, and that's what we're doing. There's just so much out there.
It is. There's never an end. There's never an end to the things that we can do, and I think that's probably why those of us who enjoy the work we do really kind of get up in the morning and come because there's just such satisfaction. So this is going to be a hard question, but in this past year, because there's probably a number, what would you say was something that really made you feel like, wow, this really was, this made me so proud or so satisfied with what I do?
There's a bunch of those stories, honestly. I think that there's a handful of businesses out there that I've worked with from day one. Even before I was working here, we had connections with them as a networking event host. So they would attend, and they were always there. And when I came into this position, I then had the resources and the capacity to help back these businesses up. And now to watch some of them grow to where I'm very proud to say there's 3 businesses that have expanded and have grown into either a second location or have now put in a business into a brick and mortar setup. And specifically, Mi Casa Su Casa. Everyone knows Jobany and her business.
She's growing and added a different
so that's a major win. That's a major win for us. That's a major win for her, and that's a major win for the Shillington Farmers Market.
Oh yes.
So 3 people got really just great results from the expansion of a small business.
Right, exactly.
And it's now serving an entirely different market, and it's doing well. We have Dele from Pagoda Apparel. I've known Dele for a while. He's been coming to our networking events for a long time, and now he was able to obtain funding through us, and through one of our connections.
Opened up that
so we helped
that.
Yeah. So we opened an opportunity for him where he now has his own retail space, and is now selling his product. And then that's just another win, another success story.
And when you see that opening up, and you see that is providing not only opportunity for that individual, but ultimately it can be for the next hire that he makes, and for the next hire that he
makes.
And that's really, because we know that business is built on small businesses. And that's where the growth
small
is.
business is really the force behind the American economy. Even in Berks County, we have about 4,000 small businesses in Berks County. That's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot more than big business. It's just we need to help them out just as much.
Right.
Probably even more.
Well, probably more so because, I mean, God bless our East Penns of the world.
Yeah.
They're not going to probably have the need for HR when they've got
Correct.
a whole army of
HR
experts. But, so, well, thank you for the work you're doing.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks
for bringing me on.
No, it's fun. We love what we do, folks, and I think that one of the things, Jobany also hosts, and I know we're a little over time, but he hosts a diversity mixer every month, and that's is it the first?
Yeah, so Wednesday diversity mixers every first Wednesday of the month at a different location. Yep. So we help. 3 years ago when this was started, this was really to help promote local small businesses, and we've hosted them at almost every location that can fit a bunch of people in this area, and we continue to grow. I mean, we see a huge, diverse crowd, culturally, gender differences with age. I mean, there's just all kinds of backgrounds that show up to these events, and it's really a way to connect and bridge different markets.
Right.
And different gaps.
And I think it's not only helping from a business point of view that you're networking, which is always good, and building your networks, but I think it also is community building.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, people are working with each other, helping each other out, even recruiting volunteers. I mean, it's just a massive animal that we've created, and I'm very proud of that, and appreciate the support.
It's wonderful to to be able to grow that. So, folks, if you're not involved, you're missing out, and you're missing some opportunities as well.
Correct.
So, I know our time is up. So, Jobany, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
it's great to have another guest.
Thank you again. Yeah, thank you.
Happens to be a fellow colleague.
Yes,
so,
yes, it's always wonderful.
It's great for us to brag on a little bit of what we do.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Absolutely, we should.
See me if you need any help.
Yes, absolutely. He's the guy.
All right.